Jai Mohanji and Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us for the Kickass Growth series. This is a program that aims to bring people of different cultures, traditions, and religions together on one platform where all are able to share their journey with their spiritual master, which means a guru, and how their faith as well as surrender has allowed grace to flow into their lives. This is but a touch of love and grace spread through all of these programs and many others, which focuses on oneness and similarities rather than how we all are different. So let's see how we can all learn from each other. Do enjoy.
Jai Mohanji, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. Um, I haven't been much prepared, but I guess every time I have to speak about Baba, I never get enough notice about it. It's always speak from your heart. The one thing I do want to share is my grace during COVID by our lineage and by Baba. Before that, just a little bit of insight on when I joined the ashram and how long I've been around and how long I've been sheltered by this beautiful lineage. I joined the ashram about 4 years ago through, I'm sure everyone knows our loving mum, Auntie Annie. She had joined before and she kept telling me, come see what the ashram's about, come. And I was like, yeah, I'd do that. After about 2 months, I was just like, hey, let me go check this place out and see what it's all about. So I did. And I did do that. And after I went, the first time I walked in, I looked at the place and I wasn't a person to go to temples or do prayers or any of those things, fast, nothing. I did nothing. And I sat and they did a meditation. And it was my first time there, and all that happened was I burst out into tears. I just cried and cried. I was there for 1.5 hours, and from that 1.5 hours, I cried for 1 hour, 15 minutes. I didn't know anyone at the ashram besides Auntie Annie, and she was like, leave her, she's just releasing all her pain. Still questioned Swamiji, I think, had gone to India so he wasn't there. And, I still kept questioning what is this all about? Like, it's very hard for me to believe in something until I like do a full research on it. Anyway, from that day onwards, I'd be like, yeah, I don't think I want to go back. But every Tuesday and every Thursday, something was like, you going to ashram today. And I was there. And I was there every single day. And changes just happened, like it happened so gradually. I was amazed, you know. I always asked, like, I used to love doing these things. Why? Okay, so I used to love partying and being out with friends and stuff. And then all of those things just fell away. People from my life just fell away. And it was because with all the pain from my past, I always said to Baba, I was like, I wanted to be someone who people who weren't true to me should leave my life. And I think it was within a year of me being at ashram that had actually happened. And I can go on and on about all the graces that have happened with Baba and I, and how I've seen it, how I've felt it. But that would take me, like I said, a whole year to talk about, because there's just so many things. You might be thinking 4 years, but the changes of 4 years is like my whole lifetime, which amazed me as well. But to go into detail, it's more about my grace during this COVID period. I work in retail, as most people would know. And so when COVID hit our country and our president decided to say we are going into a national lockdown, um, our company had to close. There was no reason that there was no way we could actually be working. So I started stressing because I'm a very lavish person, so I can never save money. I can only spend it. And I was just like, how the hell am I going to manage? Because in retail, as everyone would know, it's a no work, no pay situation. Anyway, we went into lockdown and I just went with it. So anyway, the whole of April went, and being my birthday month in April, I'm just like always wanting to just have the best day of my life because it's my day. And being in lockdown, despite not being able to do everything, what I got was just like amazing. Like I actually had one of the best times during lockdown as my birthday, spending it with Not everyone that I wanted to, unfortunately, but like I did spend it with people that I did. And going forward, I was just like, how am I going to manage my bills at every month? And then, as you'll all know, the government came up with a UIF scheme and said everyone will get paid for 3 months that are not working. So I was just like, okay, that's fine. So April went, I kept contacting HR, is there any news on our UIF? When are we getting paid? And then she was like, your application is denied. I left it. For some strange reason, my March salary lasted me the whole of April, paid all my March bills, all my April bills. Plus, I went back to work in May, and I still managed to cover my traveling and stuff for the whole of May. When I went back in May, I went back in the first week, if I'm not mistaken. It was after the first week, and because of it still being level 4 lockdown, we were quiet. We weren't working full days. I still kept saying to myself, how am I going to manage at the end of this month? I'm not even going to get a full salary, and how am I going to make my ends meet? And I contacted HR, and she's like, you know what, your application is denied for the UIF again. And they're going to try to submit it one more time, because she thinks I haven't been working in the company for more than 6 months, so I won't get paid that from the government. Anyway, coming towards the end of May, I'm just like stressing and stressing, and I'm like, Baba, how am I going to go through this? Like, I know, money is not everything, but when you have responsibilities, then you stress about it. And I went to sleep, and the next day I wake up to two SMSs. One was my salary paid, and the second was my UIF paid. So I went to work the next day, and I said to the HR, I got paid my UIF, and she's like, oh wow, because your application actually got denied and we didn't submit it yet. So I was like, oh, that's very strange. That's when the first time I was just like, Baba, thank you. It was just thank you so much for hearing what you there, and I could actually feel their presence. It was like the lineage made their presence known in this time. Anyway, that was my first month. They had to submit again for the second month because in May I worked short time. So anyway, the whole of June went. I worked the whole month, so I actually didn't stress too much about it. In July, still my May UIF wasn't paid. Just to let you all know, we have 84 to 100 staff, I think, at work. All got paid the UIF. I was the only staff member for some reason that was not getting this money. In July, I tested positive for the virus. So I was at home for 2 weeks, which means no work, no pay. Our company doesn't work on the sick leave where they pay it. It's our bargaining council that actually pays ours, and they only do it every 40 days. You'd get paid. So that was 2 weeks that I was not going to get paid. And I was just like, okay, what am I going to do? And then by the grace of Baba, this UIF pops up and it actually makes up everything. So, even though this time was so trying and so testing, and, aside from um, every other, I wouldn't say trouble, but, you know, every other times that was so tough, this was like Baba just showing me, you'll be okay, just don't give up. Um, anyway, so I was actually fine through the whole of COVID. Like a lot of people went through it, and I didn't, and I was very grateful for that. In August, which was last month, I started getting I started getting ill, and every week I was visiting the doctors, and I was on antibiotics, and nobody could figure out what's going on. So I got so mad. I was like, I'm going to take 3 days leave, and I'm going to go to all the doctors and find out what the hell is going on. When I called all the doctors or specialists that I was meant to go for, then, some of them I had to pay cash because medical aid wouldn't cover some of them. And I was just like, okay, Baba, now what do I do? Because I need to do these things. But I was like, it's fine. I'm going to go. I need to find out what's wrong with me, come hook or crook. I said, if I don't do it this month, I'll do it next month. And, towards the end of October, August, my sick leave got paid in. And I was only off for a few days, but due to some miscommunication or some mishap, I actually got paid for more than the days, which I was willing to return. And my HR was like, no, this is what they did. So we contacted them and they were like, no, they paid out this amount and that's correct. So I was like, that's very strange because I mean, why would you give someone extra money for nothing? But I don't know how that grace happened. But like I said, it's always Baba's grace. And I'd always stand by it and say, this is how Baba helped me. And, I went to the doctor recently. I got diagnosed and whatever. And then I started stressing because they were like, okay, you need to go and do more tests. And then the doctor called me about a day, 2 days ago. And he's like, oh, we ran more tests from your bloods and there's nothing that showed. I was like, but last week you diagnosed me. How is this week something different? So they're like, no, it's not that you don't have it. You just need to sort it out. But you don't have anything serious where it could be very detrimental to you. And again, I was just like, wow, the lineage just stood by me. They just supported me. Um, Sometimes I don't even have to ask actually, but sometimes I get frustrated. I'm just like, Baba, really? Why do I have to go through this? And I know I'm never supposed to ask why, but it's like more a conversation I have with him on a daily basis. And it's miracles. And I've learned something, don't ask Baba for something until you think it through 100%. Because you get exactly what you ask for and exactly how you asked it for. So if you're not very specific about it, it just comes to you like that. But like, I mean, most of you know me, and a lot has changed in terms of me being. If you met me 4 years ago, I was like, if you even spoke to me, I'd probably start crying because that was the person I was. I was very scared. And like a lot of my fears just got overcome by Baba. And it was definitely the lineage because I mean, for 28 years, nothing changed. And all of a sudden, I joined the ashram, and then, everything about me starts changing. So I think even saying that Baba is there only when you need him is an understatement because he's actually always there. Sometimes I have dreams that I don't remember, and sometimes I just have dreams. And as of lately, I've been always having dreams about our retreat in Calderwood. And specifically, I have the dream of our healing in Calderwood. And I dream of how that healing went, how I felt in that healing. And it's been like an ongoing thing for about a week and a half now. And it's just an amazing feeling. I wake up feeling wrecked, but I mean, it's amazing. It's just I don't know. And it's Baba. It's just the lineage. They all are there for us. There's days where sometimes I'm just like I really can't even make it to join a satsang, or I can't make it to join Zoom. I'm just exhausted, or I'm frustrated, or I'm irritated, and I'm being negative. And then it's like I go onto Facebook and there's Facebook Live, and I end up watching the whole thing. Except I'm not on Zoom, I'm on Facebook. And I'm like, okay, so Baba just got me. He's like, okay, you need to be in check at times, and he does that. The lineage is there, they cover you. You actually feel the warmth when when you even thinking of things and your mind is like going, you feel they want, you feel that they're there. It's like they're pushing to tell you that these things are impossible, but we are here and we'll make impossible possible for you. And yeah, so that was my grace during COVID. It was a very tough time, a very stressful time. And I would never, um, I love Baba. He's just done too much. It's not only about what he's just done for me. It's just about the change in the world, the change he makes in the world. When I met Baba, the one thing that brought utmost tears to my eyes is how does someone have so much of love? I spent a lot of time with him when he was here at the last visit, and I was just like, wow, I want to be the same. I want to be able to love everybody, whether they hate me, whether they like me. I just want to show love. And I asked myself, like, there was so much of love. How is this possible? And that's when the biggest change came about me, and it lifted me. And it was like, if Baba could love everyone equally, no matter who they are, I can do the same. And that changed a hell of a lot in me. I think that's about what I got to say. I told you all it would be short. But thank you for joining in and listening to my experience. It was more about just, how things that weren't possible during COVID actually became possible for me and, helped me in a lot of ways that's unexplainable. But thank you, Jay Mohanji, everybody.